Chartered accountants in industry are the backbone of financial stewardship, governance, and strategic decision making, shaping and driving the future across sectors. Namaskar and warm welcome to all. Chartered accountants play pivotal roles as CFOs, CEOs, auditors, strategists, and policy advisors, upholding the core values of integrity, excellence, and independence. They are at the forefront of driving governance, financial discipline, and strategic success through initiatives like specialized knowledge programs, national conferences, CFO summits, awards, campus placements, and leadership development. The CMIB nurtures an ecosystem where our members can excel, innovate, and contribute meaningfully to Viksit Bharat 2047. Let us together script the new chapter of professional excellence, economic growth, and ethical leadership. ICAI is immensely proud of each one of you. Thank you.
In this present global panorama, marked by rapid regulatory and technological disruptions, the demand of chartered accountants have grown manifold not only in India but across the world. CAs are playing a pivotal role in protecting the public interest by being a custodian of the financial landscape. Chartered accountants are also playing an important role in promoting the adoption of innovative technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning. The increased adoption of these new-gen technologies is contributing to the ease of doing business and are paving the way for a brighter future. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is deeply committed to creating a comprehensive professional ecosystem that meets the changing needs of society. A multitude of progressive initiatives have been developed to equip chartered accountants with the knowledge and the skills required to take on the new challenges of the 21st century. I would like to reiterate that chartered accountants have been and will continue to be at the forefront of driving economic growth in India. At ICAI, we are dedicated to our members and will continue to strive for their success.
I think the way Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and the Chartered Accountants are coming forward, not only to be the part of the GCC, but to own their own GCC. I think 9 out of 10 CFOs of the global capability centers, you will find the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Maybe 7 out of 10 GCCs are owned by the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and the chartered accountants are best suited to have the startups, to have their own enterprises. You see, Kumar Mangalam Birla, the member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and if Aditya Birla Group is one of the most prominent industrial houses of the country, one of the most important reason is that it is headed by none other than a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. You do take all the Birla groups together, I think only and only Aditya Birla Group will be having 100 times more net worth of all the Birla groups taken together. And because if a chartered accountant is there as the CMD, I think that industry is going to grow by leaps and bounds. You see that the chartered accountants are not only CFOs or the CEOs, they are the CMDs. The CMD of GAL India Limited, C.A. Sandeep Gupta ji, is a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, because the chartered accountant is having the knowledge of each and every possible thing which is required, and the USP of the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is that their continuous professional updation.
If chartered accountants in practice make us proud, if chartered accountants in practice give life to institute, it is members in industry who give a living to this institute. Members in industry are extremely important for the development of this institute. You spread the voice of ICAI in the corporate circles. So Central Council members like Anuj Goyal are spending their valuable intellect for the council. That the members of the Central Council of ICAI are highly knowledgeable people committed for the cause of this ICAI, the institute.
So let's begin the discussion straight away. Madam Mahalakshmi, we would like to come to you first. Ma'am, as we move ahead for 2026, do you agree corporate governance will be entering one of its most demanding eras, since there are a lot of disruptions? There's a lot of uncertainty. We are seeing geopolitical tensions. We're also seeing issues on the climate front. Climate change is there. Technological advancements are there. The global supply chains are getting realigned. So it's a challenging era. What is your take? How are you reading the overall scenario presently?
India probably opened up to global trade sometime in the 1990s, and the front runner was the service sector. But over years, we've also caught up on manufacturing, and in the last decade, Make in India movement and so on. Quite a bit that we have caught up, and we are kind of very interconnected globally. One of the things that have been happening in the very recent past, for example, is the currency movement. The kind of movement we've seen, while people in the export market may be happy for the time being, it also makes us expensive in terms of the other countries. And those who are in import, it makes us more costlier. So how do we offset this? Because currency movement may not be within the realm of the business or the particular management, but how do we offset it? What are the strategies? So this is an ongoing analysis, something that is proactive. Most leaders should probably spend more than 25-30% of their time on these analysis and understanding the disruptions and
Absolutely.
the geopolitical environment.
Mr. Chatterjee, this is actually a VUCA world. It's volatile, it's uncertain, it's complex, and it's also ambiguous. And in that, how do you see the role of CFO, sir, in this fast-changing environment? In fact, the role it's moving beyond that traditional financial oversight, and they'll have to embrace these roles like a strategic leadership role. How are you analyzing that, the changing role of CFOs in this fast-changing environment? Your comments, please.
What do a person who is managing the financials, a CFO for an organization needs to look into? First of all, needs to be agile. Gone are the days of the 5 pillars of governance that was taught to all of us. Those are still there. That's the backbone. But you have to move beyond that. And when I say that, you have to be ready for the uncertainty which can come at any point of time. Now, what's that uncertainty? The geopolitical tension, which, as I just mentioned, there can be the interdependence on the country, and the most important now, the advent of AI, the change in the technology world. So that is one of the reasons why there is a focus of the CFO. Cash management is there. Automation, definitely they have to get it, because as the world becomes more dynamic and the competitive edge come in, maybe if you look from the service sector with the GCCs and others, every country is competing for that, just not India. So we are not only competing with our own competitors, but we are also competing with other countries.
So how do you see the role of AI, the role of automation? Since this is actually becoming essential, sir, in the financial operations as well. What is your understanding? What is really happening at the ground? Can you share some insights?
So considering all this, when you adopt AI and ML, the outcomes are tremendous. And for a thumb rule, let me tell, in a single unit like mine, $1 is 700 crore. 1% is 700 crore, and 0.1% is 70 crore, much beyond what the cost includes for AI and ML. So I call the framework as a pain point framework. So as a CFO,
Sir.
I have to look at pain points, and then where value emerges, and then where, other than technology has not brought that value. Can I employ technology like this, which is much beyond human, and I can harness that benefit? And I'll tell you, there are projects, where paybacks become 6 months, 8 months, and 9 months. It all depends where you apply them.
Dr. Anuj Goyalji, with the increasing adoption of global governance and also sustainability reporting, what is ICAI actually doing? How are you adapting to these assurance and ethical codes to ensure our CAs, Indian CAs, can actually credibly audit and also meet expectations of the global investor community, sir? What is the institute doing on that front, sir?
See, Saurabh ji, I think one of the most important thing which institute has done over the years is that now the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, how they can be the global accountant. See, when now we are telling that each and every balance sheet of the world is to be audited by the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, how it can be done like that? Because now my accounting standards are Ind AS. Ind AS are practically the IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. And in the same manner, when we do talk of the ethical standards, we have revised our code of ethics and it is now at par with the International Code of Ethics.
We'll move to Mr. Rajendra now. Sir, you have a vast experience, and we would like to understand from you, sir. We have taken views from the industry leaders, from Dr. Goyal. Now, if you can kindly tell us, as the role of CFOs is evolving, which also involves actually non-traditional services, can you share your views on the code of ethics and also independent standards, sir?
Thank you. In fact, I am currently the presiding officer of the Board of Discipline of ICAI, the chief judge, if you may call.
Yes, sir.
Now 3 years. You are talking about code of ethics. Now, when we look at a particular case which is brought before us, there are two things which are paramount. One is legality, the other is morality. Something can be legally right, but morally it may not be. Something morally is right, but legally is not. In ICAI, you have the ICAI Act per se, which is legal. It is a law created by an act of parliament. Code of ethics is what we have designed to govern ourselves. Now, code of ethics is what I called as morality. Now, you look at the CFO of today, you're talking about the new Gen CFOs, etc. Now, the role has become so diverse. Probably when Agarwalaji or Maha, when they started their career in the industry, or even when I started my practice, we would not have imagined that we will come to this stage where our work is done by a machine. This is where the control comes. Now, this is where we need to set standards, we need to set boundaries for our own working.
We'll have the last word from Dr. Anuj Goyal, sir. Since this is a rapid pace of change, and basically there are regulatory, there are risk frameworks involved, you are talking about continuous professional educational programs. What type of programs are you rolling out, sir? Would you like to end on that front?
See, I think the USP, the unique selling point of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and the Chartered Accountant is this, that each and every member, whether one is into practice, whether one is into industry, has to have mandatorily the continuous professional learning. I think this is the best thing which the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is having, and every other professional body is now following the footsteps of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India.
So thank you very, very much, all of you, for joining in, for the wonderful talk and the great insights. Wishing you, all of you, the very best. Thank you very much.
I'll start with CA Vittal Raj, since he's an AI expert, with a simple question. Sir, in your view, can you please explain, for CFOs, AI is a friend or a foe?
Actually, if you really see, for most organizations, AI is something which can help them to go beyond the typical kind of automation, help with more of, at least a kind of limited structure of decision making. Now, that's exactly where AI would start coming in. But if you really look at, is AI good for an organization, a friend or a foe? Well, I'm sure there are many in this room. I'm sure you have been having many of these innovative projects which are going on in your organizations, many of you are already on predictive analytics in different ways. I'm sure your dashboards are all significantly automated. If nothing has been done, I'm sure you have a chatbot now on your site, right? That's the easiest way to start with. So if you really look at it, yes, in terms of the benefits, AI has really shown that it can do wonders. But at the same time, let me tell you that 40% of the AI projects are a failure.
Coming to Mr. Chatterjee. Mr. Chatterjee, so as a CFO or a person who is the guardian of the finances of Sutherland, I would really like to know that how cyber security threats have evolved over the years.
Definitely, the earlier days we used to have just a firewall in the system which used to protect us. Now only firewall doesn't help. So we have to build in security also through AI, which actually looks into this, the type of inputs which are coming, and there is an AI which is also analyzing that. Is that a great thing so far? Answer is no. It is still developing, because AI, the very premise of the AI is AI has to learn. It's just like a human learning. AI has to learn. You have to give it use cases based on which you have to learn. If you give a biased use case, it will learn a bias only. So that is a learning process. So definitely threats have increased, and especially since you mentioned about Sutherland, Sutherland deals with a lot of sensitive data and information. We have the database of customers across the world for their credit card, bank details, and everything. So there is a lot of people who are interested to hack into the system. They can make a mullah from there if they can get it. So definitely there are actions which are being looked into. Now, having said so, there are a couple of things which has been looked into what we are doing. One is there is something called the real-time anomaly selection, which we have already implemented and we are getting it done. So other thing is that there are some automated incident management. We have a tool which we have developed on our own, because mostly a lot of people are work from home. You don't know what is happening at the home today. So there is something which is also tracking to it. There are inbuilt cameras also. But end of the day, it's needed, because you have to protect the data, you have to protect the environment, and at the same time get your work easier.
So I'll continue with you, sir. So I can understand that AI is evolving. So in this age of AI, how human intelligence is still relevant? What are the critical things that you still, do with your instinct, your intelligence, or the input that you get on the ground from the workers or the officers who are taking care of your company?
See, the human relevance is always there. Okay, AI cannot replace human. It can replace the routine jobs or the mundane jobs only. But when it comes to the intelligence, it cannot replace. See, AI has to learn, and whatever you make it learn, it will do that. But if some improvisation is required, or some, some out-of-the-box thinking required, or some environmental change has happened, which has happened in the past, or does not happen frequently, the human person is required. Again, to answer, I do not think AI can replace, like a supercomputer could not replace the human brain. AI will also not be able to replace the human brain.
Right. Now coming to Rajendra Kumarji, how ICAI is arming the future CFOs against cyber security risks?
Very difficult question you're asking me as a regulator. See, we actually don't create CFOs. We don't create CFOs. We create chartered accountants. And it is their skill, it is their own intelligence, it is their own knowledge which takes them to this level. We only empower them with whatever that is required at the appropriate time. We also don't do anything in ensuring the cyber security levels or whatever the question that you asked. We actually don't get into all this implementation part. We are in the policy making. So we create a particular environment, we create a particular course or a schedule or a profile and offer the same to our members. And it is for them either to accept it, indulge in them, and take the benefit.
Vittal sir, coming to you, where do you think CFO's priorities should lie in terms of creating budget? Should he actively, invest in cyber defense or developing AI models to make work seamless?
It's not a straight question, honestly speaking, because on one hand you have cyber defense. I think there is no negotiation on cyber defense. Because forget about AI, whether AI or not, your organization still needs to be there tomorrow morning to serve your customers. So if your entire IT paraphernalia is not well protected, you have a serious business problem at hand. How do you know that you will not get an attack like this? So let us please understand the organizations which are even the well-governed in terms of cybersecurity governance, they face attacks. So there is very clearly an investment which has to go into cyber defense. There is no negotiation on that.
I really want to ask you that, is there any single incident that you want to share where AI has really enabled you to take a strategic decision?
Strategic decisions, I don't think the AI is ready yet to give. Yeah, tactical decisions, there are cases in which it has actually helped. When you say strategic, it is mostly concerned about, it has to be something on a long-term basis. So I don't recall something that we have taken on a long-term, because AI is still not tuned to take it to the long-term. As far as I have seen, maybe Mr. Vittal has some other options, but I have not seen so far. But yes, in a short term, on a tactical decision, there are cases like we have got the invoice automation. Invoices are being created. So earlier, maybe creating the invoices, I have one of my colleagues also in the audience, he can also vouch. Earlier, it used to take at least 3 to 4 days just to create. Now it takes maybe half an hour, nothing more than that. So that's what the usage is coming. Definitely it has helped the process. It has sped up the process, by which we are able to release bandwidth of the people. We can focus on some other action items there. So there are areas in which definitely it has helped, but function-based, I will say. AI is to be looked into by function, for this function, and that way if you look into, AI works pretty well. But if you want to look to AI, I will deploy AI to create my business plan for 5 years. Who is going to give that input to the AI? How much I want to grow in future, which areas I want to grow into. All those I can give, but to do that, I also need to know what is the market going.
On that note, we will end this panel discussion. Thank you, CA Rajendra Kumar ji, CA Vipin Goyal ji, CA Vittal Raj, and Rajesh Mohan Chatterjee for your participation.